The Supreme Court is weighing a case that could have a significant impact on elections, including this year's midterms. Yesterday, the nation's highest court heard arguments in a dispute involving late-arriving mail-in ballots. The Republican National Committee is challenging a Mississippi law that allows these votes to be counted within 5 days of Election Day. Mississippi's Secretary of State, a Republican, is urging the Supreme Court to uphold this law. CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman is following this case for us and joins us on set to explain what's at stake and what's happening. Good morning, Katrina. Why is the RNC against allowing mail-in ballots to be received after Election Day to be counted?
Errol, their fundamental argument is that they say federal law sets Election Day. It is the Tuesday after the first Monday in November, and that all ballots need to be cast and received by that day. We actually had the RNC's general counsel on the takeout last night, so let's take a listen to what he had to say.
The Constitution gives states the ability to regulate elections, but the Constitution also says that Congress has the ultimate word in saying what that is. And here, for 180 years, Ed, Congress has said Election Day in federal elections means Election Day, not a grace period, not election period, not election week, not election month. Election Day means Election Day.
So they take issue with the fact that in states like Mississippi, you can receive ballots up to 5 days after Election Day, as long as they're cast by that day. And Errol, this has much broader implications because there are over a dozen states with similar laws to Mississippi.
And Mississippi's Republican Secretary of State wants to protect this law, I guess because there's never been proof that a late arriving mail-in ballot would be fraudulent. But tell us what the Mississippi Secretary of State is arguing.
Right, and that's an important point that you bring up, Errol. A couple of the justices did raise that as well. You know, when you receive these late ballots, and does it skew the perception of the election? Let's say it looks like one person won on Election Day. But what Mississippi argues is that the states have broad authority here, that they can choose the time, place, and manner of elections, and that it doesn't conflict with this federal law. They say as long as those ballots are cast by Election Day. This also affects people who are overseas, Errol. That includes the military, U.S. citizens who live abroad, people in all of these other states. And we have to remember we have the midterms coming up in November. So we'll likely get a decision on this in June or July. That will leave very little time for changes potentially in a number of states before those very important elections.
So with so much at stake, dozens of jurisdictions, millions, possibly tens of millions of votes at stake, which way do the justices appear to be leaning?
So there seemed to be a broad consensus in the media that they are leaning towards overturning this Mississippi law. That would mean that all ballots had to be cast and received by Election Day if the justices choose to do this. Although Justice Kavanaugh also raised something called the Purcell principle, Errol, and it's the Supreme Court principle that you shouldn't make changes to the election and voting process so close to Election Day. We don't know if that might have implications, but just to add, Chief Justice Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett both asked very sharp questions of both sides. So I don't think we know definitively what's going to happen here yet.
This is fascinating. We know you'll keep watching it closely. Katrina, thank you very much.
Thank you.